Sheikh Imran, we are now on the exact place where maybe we could say Pandora's box has been opened more than 100 years ago. Right on this place where we are sitting right now, Prince Duke Ferdinand, he was killed. And so we know what happened after that. But in your own unique perspective, what do you think, if you kindly explain us, who was actually behind World War I?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm grateful to Allah Most Kind that I'm here at this very spot in Sarajevo where Franz Ferdinand was assassinated in the summer of 1914. First of all, I was in New York on September the 11th, the morning of September the 11th, 2001. When the attack on the World Trade Center took place. And as soon as that occurred and I saw what happened on television, I came to the conclusion that this was a repetition of what happened in Sarajevo in the summer of 1914. That what happened in Sarajevo is that they had already planned in advance for a great war. Britain and France in particular had planned long in advance for a great war. All that they needed was an event which will spark and cause the great war to emerge. And they planned this assassination. On Judgment Day we'll know that the assassination was planned and executed in order to provide that which will provoke the Great War. And now, after more than 100 years, we are back to Sarajevo because we are located at a moment in time when those who provoked the First World War are now ready to provoke the Great War. The same actors are at work, except that in 1914, the United States of America had not as yet emerged as the dominant power in the world. That will take a little time. But the same actors at work who provoked the First World War and who committed this act in Sarajevo, which provoked that war, are the same actors again at work now, at this time, seeking to provoke what in Christian eschatology is known as Armageddon, the greatest war of all. And in Islamic eschatology it is known as the Malhama. Britain and France are major actors in this drama, but now the United States has joined them. They waged the First World War for a number of reasons. But the most basic, the most fundamental of all reasons, we have to excuse the noise, we can't avoid the noise, it's a busy thoroughfare over here, but it's still a historic moment and a historic place to be able to have this brief interview. The reason why they waged the Great War was Jerusalem. They wanted to dismantle the Ottoman Empire so that they could liberate Jerusalem for the Jews and so that they could bring the Jews back to Jerusalem to reclaim Jerusalem as their own 2,000 years after they had been sent and expelled and were living in exile. And they wanted to create a state of Israel in the Holy Land. And they wanted that Israel to one day become so powerful a state that Israel could attack Qatar, where the biggest U.S. military base in the whole Middle East is located, and attack Qatar despite the presence of the American military base, among other reasons, to say to the United States, if you didn't know it, you know it now. United States is being told by Israel, you are no longer the boss in this part of the world. We and now the boss. So they established a state of Israel which will eventually become what I know called Pax Judaica. Now then, why do they want the Great War at this time? And how will the Great War take place? Will it be another act of terrorism like this one which occurred here in the summer of 1914? Answer, I don't know what is going to spark and provoke the Great War. I don't know. Others may know, I don't know. But what I do know is that the war in Ukraine is linked with the Great War. I hope I am wrong, but when the war in Ukraine has reached that stage, when Ukraine is about to collapse, and Russia is being seen by the whole world as the victor, winning the war, I think that is the time they will provoke the Great War. So we may not have more than a year or 2 years left before the Great War takes place. And I don't think the Great War will take place over a couple of months or weeks. Putin has said we don't need more than half an hour to destroy the whole of the United States. So Britain might be gone in less than 10 minutes. This is nuclear warfare. I don't know how long the Great War will last, but it won't be lasting for long. But I do know that there is going to be an act of terrorism. I don't know what it's going to be, when it's going to be, but similar to this one which occurred in Sarajevo 100 years ago.
Thank you, Sheikh. Off the record, I'm a little bit scared now because of your perspective, but I'm not going to say it.